So welcome back to Favorite Friday. For the second case for this week, we are going back to California. There's a little interesting twist on this case. We kind of have a little fortune telling going on. Considering that this case didn't happen that long ago, if anybody knew of our victim or our victim's daughter, or even our killers, because we have two killers in this case, just like we have two victims. If anybody knew of anybody involved in the case, definitely let me know. If you were a customer of one of the people involved in the story, definitely let me know. And so with that being said, I'm just going to quit my rambling. Sources down below as always, give what I could publicly find. And so with that being said, I'm going to quit my rambling and let's go and get started. We're going to start off with Ha Jade Smith, but also she often went by Ha. She apparently was born February 15th, 1953. She would go on to have a daughter that was born May 28th, 1981 by the name of Anita. So apparently, when Anita's like 5, so if you do some math, apparently like 1986 or 1987, apparently they decided to leave Cambodia, because apparently, I didn't say she was from Cambodia, but apparently she was living, Ha and Anita was living there, and they were like, we deserve a better life than this. So they decided to flee Cambodia. They get in Thailand. They stay in Thailand as refugees for like 2 years. They then finally get to the States, and apparently Ha uses her, like, fortune-telling skills, and she apparently gets, like, really popular. And then apparently, like, another thing she was well known for was casting love spells on people, and she was charging $6,000 a piece, like, for every love spell you want to cast on somebody. And then apparently, at one point, sadly, she would get robbed in 2001, which has nothing to do with our case, but I just thought it was interesting that she was getting robbed. So I guess it was kind of known she was making a lie. So the daughter, Anita, apparently she had a boyfriend of, like, 6 years. Ha, for whatever reason, didn't approve. We never actually found out why she didn't approve. Anita apparently had a gut feeling that he might be cheating. So then she goes to Ha, which is her mother, talk about it. And Ha says, break up with him. If you think he's cheating, more than likely he is, break it off. So she breaks it off, and apparently the boyfriend did not take it with her. So then one day, Ha, while she's over here doing her fortune-telling business, she would come across a customer by the name of Tanya Jamie Nilsson, who apparently was born in 1964 in Vietnam. And apparently, I don't know, I can't confirm this part, but apparently she was like the youngest of like 16 kids. And then her and the whole family apparently moved to like the United States in like 1979. So when she's like 14 or 15 years old, apparently she would get married to somebody, doesn't say the name, have a child, doesn't say the name to the child's name either. But her and the first husband was her divorce. She gets remarried and then has 3 kids with the second husband. So a little bit about Tanya. Tanya apparently actually owned a lingerie store in Southern California. With her husband, and apparently in the year 2000, she apparently racked up like $200,000 in credit card and loan debt. Tanya apparently at one point was actually sleeping with her husband's brother, so her brother-in-law, and actually became obsessed with him. So it was more than just a fling. She fell falling in love with him. So then she goes to Ha for like these little love potions, like I said, that, Ha was over here charging $6,000 a piece for it. And Tanya apparently was doing well here, and she could afford to just be casually dropping $6,000 without the husband noticing, because I'm sleeping with your brother. So then the brother apparently actually moves to North Carolina, which is like practically the other side of the country, to get away from her. So that's how you know the obsession was real. And she decides, I'm gonna move my little lingerie business over to North Carolina, a little South, little Bible Belt. And she thought it was a good idea to put her lingerie store in, good old little small southern town apparently. And she also put it next to a church, so you can imagine the business did not do well at that point. And so then, of course, she blames Ha for her failure, because Ha apparently seemed to support it. So then, if that's not crazy enough, she actually apparently threatened to find his partner, because apparently he had moved on and apparently got a girlfriend himself. She threatens to find his partner, cut off her fingers, and mail them to him in the mail. And then apparently she goes to Georgia, not the country, but the state Georgia, after apparently finding out where they live, because apparently I guess he moved from North Carolina to Georgia. And then she hires like a private investigator to track them, even though he's literally trying to move away from her. And then apparently she breaks into the house and basically leaves all the water running, so it pretty much floods their house. And then apparently she also spray painted on the walls profanities and run lover boy before she sucks you dry. So then the brother-in-law eventually agrees to meet Tanya, I guess in an effort to get her to stop, but he did bring the girlfriend for so that way she didn't say that, oh, we did something and we didn't, I need you as a witness. So then apparently she pistol whips him, and then of course they leave. Because, you just got pistol whips. Of course, you're going to leave before you actually wind up getting shot. Because that's usually how some of these cases go. Of course, spoiler alert, he's the one who makes it out alive. So, nothing happens to him or the girlfriend. And it's said that, remember, because like I said, Tanya's like a mother of 4. Apparently, she had hired one of her sons who killed the brother-in-law. But, of course, that was not confirmed. That's just speculation. So now that Tanya's butthurt, because not only has he moved on, but even though she's married herself and shouldn't have been, sleeping around in the first place, she goes up back to Ha and asks basically for a curse from the brother-in-law. Says, you don't want to be with me, I'll make your life a living hell. Ha luckily was a good person, was like, nah, we ain't doing that, and I want nothing to do with you. So Tanya goes to Felipe Zamora, who apparently his wife was apparently an escort for Tanya, because like I said, she was over doing a little lingerie business, so I guess they was also doing escorts on the side. He refused to help, and apparently she knew he was actually secretly gay, because she would set him up with men on the side. And it wasn't like bisexual. Apparently he was just secretly gay, but where he came from, it wasn't acceptable. And also, this is the early 2000s, so people were not as accepting of gay people as they are now. So she was like, look, you gonna help me kill Ha, or I'm telling your wife is secretly gay. So like I said, obviously in North Carolina, so they gotta fly back to California, otherwise that's a long drive. So then apparently on April 21st, 2005, Ha and Felipe apparently fly to California. They get to Ha's house, and then apparently Felipe is asked to stay in the front while her and Tanya go to the back. So then apparently after Ha basically says for Felipe to stay in the front, that's where Tanya apparently shouts to Felipe to kill Ha. So then he grabs a knife and apparently starts stabbing Ha multiple times. Of course, she's screaming. This grabs the attention of Anita, who unfortunately just happened to be home. So then Anita, I imagine, I don't know if she was running away, she's trying to defend her mother, but unfortunately she gets in a crossfire too. She winds up getting stabbed as well. Both of them are then killed from the stabbings, and then their bodies are left there while Tanya and Felipe proceed to ransack the house. And so from what it looks like, I want to assume that they were trying to get money, because I was like, look, all this money I spent on you, I'm getting my money back, because you ain't been no help. But apparently unbeknownst to them, there was like $500,000 in jewelry in the coffee maker and like $68K in jewelry in the vacuum cleaner. So then after killing both the ladies, Tanya then proceeds to go take a shower while Felipe basically, like I said, makes the house look like a robbery, so that way it's not personal, so it can't be possibly tied back to us. Especially me, because I know her more than you do, because apparently from what it looks like, Felipe and Ha had never met each other before Tanya came to the picture, so yeah. So they then go to Walmart, go buy some white paint, come back, pour it on both the girls' bodies, from what we believe to basically like destroy evidence, so like no DNA and stuff, because this is the 2000s, DNA, that's a thing. And then apparently they fly back to North Carolina that same day. And then Anita's ex, the ex of 6 years that I was telling y'all about, that Ha didn't approve of, apparently he was trying to call her phone over and over again, because I guess they were in the process of trying to get back together. She wasn't answering. He was concerned, rightfully so. He goes to police saying, hey, can y'all get a welfare check? Police go do the welfare check. They're the ones that finds the bodies. There was apparently, the boyfriend, understandably, was a suspect, because Ha didn't approve of you, and now they're both dead. It's not crazy to assume that, you might have done something, because it said you didn't react well to the breakup. And then apparently there was also a handyman in the building who also was a suspect, because white paint was found on him. He had cuts on his hands, and apparently he also had access to the keys. He had a copy of the keys to get into Ha's place. So they test both the paints, and apparently both the paints are different, so the handyman is also let go. Tanya apparently in the process, she also took, so not only did she take money, but she also apparently took Ha's credit card, because now at this point she's over here using Ha's credit card for a trip back to California, even though I thought she was getting away, because you didn't commit a double murder over there. Shopping sprees and other stuff. So then of course Tanya apparently is putting her own name like on these motels that she was staying at. So then apparently on the flight to California, which I don't know how they were able to check those California, but I guess somehow they were able to, police actually managed to get seats behind her on the flight, but they don't arrest her after she gets off. Apparently they wait until she makes a couple more transactions, because we need to prove that you actually stole her card, because I guess like the murder thing wasn't enough at this point. So then they arrest her May 30th at the motel. Tanya, immediately after being arrested, apparently she requests for a lawyer, which, regardless of whether you're guilty or innocent, you have the right to do that. They apparently check her calendar at her house, and the day that the murders were committed, she apparently had wrote horrible sins, so take that as what you will. Felipe apparently was arrested June 1st, and then he was interrogated for 5.5 hours before he eventually confesses. And then apparently Tanya would actually originally testify against Felipe. Tanya, ironically, was actually sentenced to death, while Felipe got 25 years, even though apparently he did the actual stabbing. And so I guess maybe he testified against her, so he didn't get death. Don't know how that worked. But apparently he lied on the stand, so 2 years were added, so he's serving 27 years. And so yeah, Tanya, apparently she has been executed, yet she still is on death row as of the time of this video. And so yeah, with that being said, that is the fortune teller murders. So, definitely know what you think down below. Like I said, if you were a customer of Ha's, if you knew Tanya personally, if you knew the in-laws, where they at, where her kids at now, because apparently she got 4 kids. Are they even still alive? These are things, I want to know. And so with that being said, I cover fail 3 times a week. subscribe for more failed females. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry.